What's up guys? Let's continue with the story of Arthas Menethil. After he killed Mal'Ganis, Prince wandered through the lands of Northrend with Lich King's blade Frostmourne, which twisted his previous beliefs and made him insane. Arthas became the first of Lich King's Death Knights, and he was given the suit of Saronite armor. When he returned to camp, he killed many of his own soldiers, among them Commanders Valeric, Marvin, and Tassarian, who was raised as Arthas' Death Knights. Months later, Arthas returned to Lordaeron. Kingdom rejoiced, a return of its champion. Flanked by Valeric and Marvin, Arthas entered the Imperial Chamber. During this started the scene, which we saw at the start, when Arthas knelt before the throne and killed his own father. Arthas remembered the words of his old friend Varian, describing his own father and King Lion Varyn being stabbed in the heart. He continued to follow Lich King's voice in Frostmourne in order to destroy whole kingdom of Lordaeron. Next step in his plan was to unleash the Scourge upon the capital city, and then go to Balnir Varmsteed, where he used his necromantic powers to raise his faithful steed invincible. Few days later, Arthas appeared in Vardamar village. There he met Ticondirus the Darkener, a dead lord like Mal'Ganis. Thinking that that lord was Mal'Ganis out of revenge, Arthas immediately threatened him, only to discover that this dread lord had come to congratulate Arthas for his efforts. And he sent Arthas to a new mission, assembled the members of Cult of them that were hiding in Vardamar, and was aided by the magical abilities as he traveled through Underhall, where he was to recover Kel'Thuzad's corpse. Kel'Thuzad's remains were badly decomposed and needed to be taken to the mystical Sunwell in Quel'Thalas to be revived. Ticondirus sent Arthas to recover a mystical urn which could be used to transport Kel'Thuzad's remains. However, the urn was in keeping of the Knights of Silver Hands. Arthas killed two paladins, Balador the Bright, and Sage the Truthbearer, who both condemned Arthas' betrayal. He then faced Atta the Lightbringer, who explained that the urn held the ashes of his father King Teras. The two engaged in a duel, with Atta initially having the upper hand, knocking Arthas down and sending Frostmourne flying from his hands. As Arthas evaded the killing blow, the sword seemed to find his own way into his hands and was granted more power by the Lich King. The battle turned, and Arthas defeated the Atta.
The urn holds your father's ashes, Arthas. What? Were you hoping to piss on them one last time before you left his kingdom to rot?
I didn't know what it held. Nor does it matter. I'll take what I came for one way or another.
I dearly hope that there's a special place in hell waiting for you, Arthas.
We may never know, Uther. I intend to live forever.
Arthas replaced remnants of his father, Kel'Thuzad, and began the long journey to Quel'Thalas when he met Ranger General Sylvanas Windrunner. Sylvanas rallied strong resistance against Arthas' forces and tried to warn Silvermoon, but she was unsuccessful and killed by Arthas in the process.
I salute your bravery, Elf, but the chase is over.
Then I'll make my stand here, Butcher. Anara la Belore. Finish it. I deserve a clean death.
After all you've put me through, woman, the last thing I'll give you is the peace of death.
No, you wouldn't dare.
When Arthas changed Sylvanas to Banshee, he continued the attack on Silvermoon, killed Elf King Anastarian, Sunstrider, and take Sunwell, Elf source of magic. With power of Sunwell, he was able to revive Kel'Thuzad. Undead Scourge continued their journey to Alterac Mountain, destroy all Blackrock clan, which controlled Demon Gate, for communication with Demon Lord Archimonde. Archimonde instructed Kel'Thuzad to get Book of Medivh, which is powerful enough to summon him to Azeroth. If you guys played the Path of the Undead during the campaign in WARCRAFT 3 for the Undead, you may remember this story, which I am telling you right now, and you may know that Arthas and his troops attack the Dalaran and destroy the defenses. Then Arthas continued to kill Archmage Antonidas and get Book of Medivh for summoning demons, and Kel'Thuzad used Book to summon Archimonde who take control over the Scourge from Lich King and give it to Tichondrius and his Dreadlords. Arthas left to wonder what would become of him and Kel'Thuzad, but the Lich King replied that all was going as Lich King foresaw. You remember this as the end of the Path of Them campaign, in which Arthas is pretty disappointed with the plan, and so if you want to go through the story by yourself, you can play Warcraft 3 Path of Them, and without some additional facts that I tell you during this story, everything is basically the same. When Azeroth is destroyed, Legion attack land of Kalimdor, where Arthas starts slowly undermine Legion's plan in attempt to help enemies destroy the Legion and take over the Scourge. He finds a way to kill Tichondrius when he sees Night of Illidan and his lust for power.
We could go on fighting like this forever. What is it you truly want?
The Dreadlord who commands this undead army is called Tichondrius. He controls a powerful warlock artifact called the Skull of Gul'dan. It is responsible for corrupting these forests.
And you wish for me to steal it? Why?
Let's just say that I have no love for Tichondrius, and the lord I serve would benefit from the Legion's downfall.
Illidan, with Skull of Gul'dan power, killed Tichondrius and allow Arthas to get bigger influence in Scourge. This results in fall of Legion invasion and Arthas returning to Lordaeron. Guys, here starts the data disk for Undead, which will continue the story. Few months later, Arthas returned to claim his throne and defeat trio of Dreadlords who was left to command the Scourge. Anyway, Arthas isn't aware that Lich King's power is waning, and he is ambushed in Capital City and was forced to collect what last he could find and find his way through the Dreadlord's forces, which included the powerful abomination Bloodfist. Later, he is rescued by Sylvanas, but she is prepared to betray him and shoot a poison arrow to him. But later he is saved by Quel'Thuzad, who stepped in and drove Sylvanas off.
What is happening here?
Sylvanas.
You walked right into this one, Arthas. It's time to even the scales.
Traitor! What have you done to me?
It's a special poisoned arrow I made just for you. The paralysis you're experiencing now is but a fraction of the agony you've caused me.
Finish me, then.
A quick death? Like the one you gave me? No. You're going to suffer as I did. Thanks to my arrow, you can't even run. Give my regards to Hell, you son of a bitch.
Back, you mindless ones! You shall not fall today, my king.
3 weeks later, Arthas landed upon familiar coast of Northrend and unexpectedly found himself being attacked by Blood Elves, led by Kel'Thas. Hungry for vengeance at their kingdom's destruction, Arthas was unexpectedly saved by large, clear-ribbed lord who introduced himself as Anup-Arak, the former king of Azil-Nerub. Kel'Thas warned that though a preliminary scouting force may have fallen, their main army would not be so easily defeated before teleporting away to safety. Arthas worried that he may be right and that they would never reach Icecrown Citadel before Illidan, but Anup-Arak thought differently. He suggested that they deliver to the scattered kingdom of the Azil-Nerub, using the underground passageways to beat Illidan to the glacier. Seeing little other choice, Arthas agreed. During the journey, Arthas encountered Big Dragon Saphiron, who he killed and then resurrected as his new Frostwyrm. When they came to Kingdom of Azil-Nerub, they were attacked by Belgun Flambeard, new leader of dwarves after Muradin's death. Belgun wanted to avenge Muradin's death and stood against Arthas, but was slain with Frostmourne. Arthas continued his journey to Lower Kingdom, where he encountered Faceless One, a powerful vicious race who only exists in legend. He cut the way through them, even defeat powerful Forgotten One. As they climbed out of Azil-Nerub, The Lich King contacted Arthas once again and explained that he was losing his power because the frozen throne had been cracked and the energy was seeping from it. Ner'zhul replenished Arthas' power, knowing he would need them in the coming battle. When they finally reached the surface, they immediately had to contend with Illidan's forces, Nagas and Kel'Thuzad borders, were there to contest Arthas' minions at every turn. Arthas with Anup help battled his way through their forces and magically activated the 4 Ice Crown obelisks around the glacier, opening the doors to the frozen throne. However, Illidan was waiting for him. As you can see from the cinematic, Arthas merged with the Lich King and became the one being. And this is probably everything for the story of Arthas Menethil, and I will continue his story through the story of Lich King. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and we will see for another one. Thank you for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like if you want. Bye!